We continue getting reaction and, of course, just bringing you up to speed with the latest developments as the story unfolds. Former President Jacob Zuma being held at the Estcourt Correctional Centre in KwaZulu-Natal after handing himself over ahead of the midnight deadline. Now, Zuma's imprisonment follows a lengthy legal battle to avoid the Constitutional Court's incarceration order. The country's highest court sentenced the former president to 15 months in jail for contempt after he failed to attend hearings of the state capture inquiry. Let's cross now to our reporter Samkele Maseko, who is outside the Estcourt Correctional Facility. Samkele, good morning. A late night, or should I say early morning, and early morning once more. But thanks so much, and the team has been doing a fabulous job, I think needs to be said. But you're outside the Estcourt Correctional Facility. Is the former president there? Has anything been said? What more do we know?
At this point in time, what we can say is that as the sun rises on this cold town of Estcourt, former President Jacob Zuma spent the night in this correctional services facility, which was built, ironically, during his tenure as the President of the Republic of South Africa. It was first unveiled in 2009 by then Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Michael Masuta, the former president, after a lengthy marathon trying to avoid incarceration through his legal team led by senior counsel advocate Dalimpofu, whom had a very late night as well. I was speaking to him at about 10 to 12 yesterday evening after the former president had decided to go and hand himself in to authorities, leaving his home in Nkandla, going towards Kranskop and subsequently Greytown, and ending up at this correctional services facility. You can just see by the visuals, my colleague Kwazimanzi is going to show you, there is heavy security here on the other end where the main entrance is of the correctional services facility. There is VIP protection services of correctional services, and you can also see over here there were two officers, heavy armed, of correctional services guarding this particular facility on both entrance points. For instance, on that white vehicle over there right at the end, that is the entrance to the correctional services facility. There are two armed VIP security guards at that point and at this end as well. When the former president's convoy came in yesterday evening, it was seen driving inside the correctional services facility and going towards the back where the former president is currently at for 15 months at this correctional services facility. But Sakina, there's also the application by the former president with its judgment that will be heard in the Pietermaritzburg High Court by Judge Beksisa Mnguni on the stay of the execution of his arrest. The former president was unsuccessful in his attempt to get the Constitutional Court to hear the letter that was sent by his lawyers for the Constitutional Court to essentially rule that the stay in the arrest must be there, as opposed to the initial application to the Constitutional Court, which was supposed to be accompanied by the application in the stay of his arrest.
And of course, just looking at the facility where he is now, there was, of course, that order of committal that was issued by the Constitutional Court, indicating that the former president should in fact be incarcerated at the Westville Correctional Facility. So can you just speak to us about that? Is this where he's going to be for the duration of the 15 months, or is there a likelihood that he will be transferred to Westville?
It's not yet clear whether he will be transferred from this particular facility and going to Westville Prison, which was a committal signed by by then acting Chief Justice Sisi Khambimpi. It's not yet clear whether he will be moved. But what we do know is that this is a new facility, and with the new facility, there are various other infrastructure that old facility like the Durban Westville prison may not have. And former president's legal team may have entered into negotiations that he instead be brought to this correctional services facility, which takes about 512 inmates from the Correctional Services Department. We did see that department yesterday confirming that former President Jacob Zuma is in their custody now. Yesterday, in the early hours of this morning, that statement was sent out, but it's not clear if this is a temporary basis or it's a permanent basis for the duration of those 15 months that the former president is meant to be here. But hopefully during the course of the day, as more and more leaders of government, ministers, leaders of the governing party come to check on the former president, we may get an opportunity to ask them, and particularly the legal team of former President Jacob Zuma, if they make their way here to consult with their client. We may get that opportunity to ask them as well if this is on a permanent basis. But they did confirm yesterday evening that he was indeed coming to this facility, and those visuals emanating from those who were here last night, we have seen that indeed his blue light convoy did pull up at this correctional services facility.
Well, interesting, Samkele, and hopefully we will get some of those answers. Also interesting is, of course, that we are on a lockdown alert level 4, and as I understand, that means that at the moment there are no visitors, no visitation allowed at correctional facilities. So in terms of who gets to go in to see and meet with the former president, again, the lockdown regulations, are those going to be adhered to? Samkele will find out whether this is a temporary abode of incarceration or not. And of course, as you can see, as Samkele pointed out, a fairly modern correctional facility, this at Estcourt. And if I'm not mistaken, last year, that particular facility was set up as one where COVID-19 positive inmates were housed. So very interesting developments around what's happening at the moment. And of course, Samkele and other reporters out on the ground at Nkandla, all over the province at the key strategic points, will be giving us updates throughout the morning.